Okay, we're doing some work on the 31 Model A Coupe on the 32 frame. Just mocked up the engine. That's going in it. The rad's that's just a crusty rad that we just sit in there just for space wise. But right now, yeah, we moved the rad shell forward slightly, and then we also moved the body back about 4 inches right now to make room for the Hemi. Our plan is to basically leave the stock Firewall, but take and bring it back an inch and angle the bottom in another ½ an inch, and then that will allow us to bring the body forward at least a couple inches. So it'll be back to roughly, it'll be back about 2 inches from stock, and we got to basically cut the inner structure out. So we're going to get rid of that mess right now. That's coming out, and then this inner frame, we're going to have to cut it right here. We're going to leave this top as a hinge, and then we're going to slice it right over here, and then that will allow this to sit down on the frame, and then we'll do lots of pie cuts and make that curve and hug this frame. But for now, we're going to take out all that rusty mess. But we're going to try and keep as 90% of the stock Firewall as possible. We might end up having to radius for the tranny. The transmission that we were right now, the plan is, there's one of the headers on there. The plan for the transmission on this thing, we have a adapter plate. That's for to go to a Chevy 350 or Turbo 400 automatic, but it's the same bolt pattern. So we got a bell housing for a standard. We're gonna possibly try and find a T15 out of a Camaro and put that in there. We're gonna have to either buy or make our own ring gear, because the ring gear that came with it, with this adapter, is just that. So we're gonna make that, get a pressure plate, and try and go that way. That's the plan right now. The rear end, originally it was gonna be a banjo type rear end, but with the engine that we're running, we don't feel that it's going to be strong enough. So right now we may keep this 9-inch. We'll see if it's too wide once we get proper tires and rims to mock it up with. We'll see, but for right now we're going to try and keep that. Use the stock wishbones in the back too, and with a single leaf or a single spring in the back. But that's our plan right now. And the first thing is to cut out that rusty sheet metal in the back, so give us more room, and then we'll start splicing that rear frame, inner frame section to make it to the back of the body sit down, so we don't have this. And once that's done, we're gonna start pulling out the Firewall and see about moving that back an inch or two. Give us more space for that big Hemi. That's coming maybe up or soon. We're not sure if we'll do it today. Okay. Cutting out, grinding out some rivets. And we'll see if we can, if that's going to be good or we have to cut it. Alright, so we're working on the 31 Model A, trying to fit it onto the 32 frame. And as you can see, there's a large gap there, nothing at the front, so...
Don't mind that.
Yeah. So what we have to do is... Oh! You can see here, this inner structure frame, we have to cut. Either, some people cut it right out and make their own. What we plan on doing is cutting it there, leaving the top piece of sheet metal there as a hinge, cutting it 100% through here, and that will allow that to lift up, and then we'll do a series of pie cuts.
Probably about 1,000 of them.
Yep, to make it flow with the frame rail. And then we'll do the same thing with back here. We will pie cut this and lift this up, so and then weld the two pieces back together. We probably have to put some spacers in there, but that way we're using much as the original steel as possible, and it'll flow with the curve of the
frame.
Mm-hmm. And it'll sit the body down.
At least that's in theory.
In theory.
In theory.
We've seen it done once.
Yep.
But we've never done it.
So this is the first, and Derek's going to be doing it, and he's got the proper eye protection on his head, but yes, he will be wearing his glasses. So yeah, let's start cutting up this Model A. I wonder how many times it's going to take to get the cord all wrapped up around in there. And voila. Okay.
So that's the first cut.
We're gonna undo all the rivets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we'll be...
we got to separate that from the
Yeah.
inner frame structure.
Yeah.
That's our next job.
All right, back in a minute.
Okay, we've marked off, we've measured from where our first cut is, and we reference this to where our second cut. This one's going to be all the way through, so that's going to allow this to actually hinge up. We marked it on both sides, so we're going to cut that. Then our next cut will be to figure out, we're going to have to raise this up, angle this piece up, and that's going to be...
And I do say, when you're doing something like this, measure, measure, measure.
Yeah. We do have some wiggle room, but it's
Yeah, exactly.
always...
Let her rip.
That's not gonna get in there. Okay, this is what we've done so far. As you can see, that's been cut through only to the top. Same on that side. That's been cut all the way. So we bent this piece up. Now, as you can see right here, this piece has to be raised up on an angle to match the frame angle. So we want to keep this panel intact. So there's three rivets down there we're going to pop out, and we're going to cut this brace here. That'll allow this to slide angle up, sit flush down on the frame, and then we'll start pie cutting all that to lay that down, and then we'll fill in the gap, whatever's here, re-weld that on, re-weld where the rivets were on this panel, and it should work out.
We got some in the back.
Okay, so what we've done, we've drilled out the 3 rivets on either side, cut that out. Now we just have to slice the inner frame structure up until the top, leave the top plate, and we'll hinge it just like where we did the front.
And in theory, then it should start.
In theory, it should get rid of that gap.
In theory.
That's the plan.
Okay, as you can see, we just end up cutting that part of the frame structure out. We'll
It
re-weld it in.
Made it easier to work with, and also these back pieces too. And you can see it is now sitting down on the frame.
Like, don't kid yourself, there's a long, long way to go.
So to reinstall the, we just have to pie cut, put that piece back in, pie cut it so it hugs this curve, and then attach it back into this panel. And that'll be our floor structure. But yeah, a lot of work, a lot of pie cutting, a lot of welding goes involved.
Like I said, I think Kevin said you can actually buy those pieces already manufactured, but I think they're pretty pricey, and then with COVID and all that stuff, who knows when it'd ever get here, so.
And you never know that that's for a specific,
Yeah, that's true.
who knows if this is the, if they cut it and welded it. If you buy a brand new frame, it'll probably fit, but we just have to radius out the wheel wells, and the rear axle isn't in place. It's got to go forward. But now, since that's done, we can basically put the engine where we think it's going to go and see how much we have to sink the firewall back. And start taking the firewall apart.
Dun dun dun.
Because we like the look of the firewall, the stock firewall, but we just don't have the room, so we're gonna push it back roughly an inch, inch and a half, maybe at the most, to fit this big behemoth and those 6 carbs.
And it's gonna get a stick behind it.
Yes. It's gonna have 3 pedals.
Real hot rods have 3 pedals.
We'll start measuring things out for the firewall now. Alright, just unscrewing the front firewall. We took out a few screws already. They're all coming out good. They're actually a Robertson and a slot. And what we've been doing is just putting the screwdriver in and then hammering it and giving it a shock. It shocks all the breaks up the rust, and they've been coming out very nice. Haven't broken one yet.
Now you just jinx yourself. Hope you're happy.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out.
Not that one too good.
Alright. Well, we'll try this one.
Ooh.
And apparently the Robertson is a Canadian invention, so I'm not sure.
Look at that screw. Wow.
That's it for the screws.
These are not exciting times.
One more screw.
No, this one's a Robertson. No, that's a number 2.
Nope.
Nope. All right. How long can you have a video for taking a screw out? I think that one's just to hold the welting on.
It did go in there, but mostly, yeah, welting, because it's not rusted.
That was a welting good time.
There's something down there.
Or is it a clip?
Or is it a clip? I believe it's a clip. Okay, still working on the firewall. All the screws are out. Derek is finding spot welds on the side and drilling them. And Corey is
F my life. Drilling spot weld.
drilling spot welds to take out that angle brace.
Or I say rivets.
Rivets, I mean. Or is there a spot weld along the bottom?
I don't know. That seems pretty...
Or nothing? It seems a little,
Oh, maybe. Put it right, a bit right here. I'm gonna say, Chris.
okay. Check it on this side.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's probably a spot rivet. Derek's pretty good at finding spot rivets.
All right, well, find that and drill.
Just like pulling a tooth.
Now,
I hate drilling spot welds. I cannot lie.
got both those off, so to move the firewall back still, this is the firewall here, this is the inner structure of the frame. We're gonna cut it along this top line here up to there, and that's where the firewall ends, making sure not to go into that. So we're gonna do that very carefully. And then that should, oh yeah, we still gotta cut this brace. We'll cut that, and then that should allow us to move the firewall in. We'll re-weld that, fix it on the outside so it looks pretty. Re-weld this brace.
Pretty like me.
Yes, like him. And Derek's got all the spot welds on here done, all the screws, so we're thinking that's what we have to do. So
Boy.
now some cutting.
Hey, stupid question. The Americans, their Thanksgiving tomorrow too, or do they have it on a different weekend?
November.
No, I was just curious. Tomorrow's our Thanksgiving. I was just curious.
Yeah, tomorrow's the day off for those people at work.
Oh, and guess what we're doing tomorrow? No, not this.
Moving other Model A's. Within another 20 minutes, we should have that moved back, hopefully.
20 minutes. 3 hours. Alrighty, back to work.
So, we're pretty much, I'm hoping the firewall will just pop out, just like that, because we've cut the angle brace out, that came out, we cut that, we didn't go through the outer shell. This brace here is cut, so I'm hoping with a little persuasion and some hammering, the firewall can just be pushed back. And that. Okay.
Do you need Kev's hand or? Oh, it moved.
That's loose on the top.
Yeah. Yeah, Kev, maybe give him a hand. I know you're sitting in your lazy boy chair.
I'm going in.
Oh, you're fighting Kevin.
We're going in, okay.
Yeah. Okay. You just go one side. Keep going.
It's caught up in here just 1 sec.
Okay. Has to go up a bit.
Yeah. Getting caught up. There.
I think this is the most that Kevin's worked all day.
Yeah, I did nothing today. Proud of it.
Now we gotta go to Home Depot and get a sheet of 3/4 inch good one side and make a firewall. Then it'd be like the 70s.
It's a firewall.
Yeah, too bad this car wasn't 1 year newer. Just one. but whatever. Is it raining?
Yeah. It is raining out.
Ah, fudge, I got my bike coats. It don't matter. Alrighty.
So, okay. Well, then now we just have to put it back in and somewhat put it in place, clamp it a bit, and see how the motor fits, and see if we can move the body forward anymore.
Alrighty, that sounds like a plan. I'm actually happy that that came out that easy.
I'm surprised it came out that easy.
Yeah, I know, eh?
A lot of work, but we want to keep the originality of that, the look of it.
Are we going to keep this thing for the old heater?
I don't think we will keep that.
No.
I think that is coming off.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Same with this.
You think?